Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Naruto Shippuden episode review. This one's going to be for episode 474, congratulations. Straight away, link to watch the episode if you haven't seen it yet in the description. But yeah, this was a great episode. Probably the best episode I've reviewed for my channel, and admittedly I haven't reviewed that many. I think we're still probably under 20 since I started reviewing it. Um, but this was just really good, and like even remembering most of the other episodes, this is probably the best episode in a pretty long time. Admittedly, it had a lot of pluses going for it just because of the content it was covering. It was kind of a lot of resolution scenes, a lot of final moments between characters, so it was very emotional. But within the episode, they got all those emotions and scenes, and they did them really well. The episode was animated really, really well. Um, Voice acting was as good as I think I can give my analysis of, based on not really knowing Japanese. The performances felt good. The dialogue that they used, the translation felt good. And just in general, I thought the episode flowed quite well. I like that they didn't feel the need to overly foreshadow Sasuke doing something, that they kind of kept all of that to still to come. This was very much a congratulations for beating Kaguya, resolution to a bunch of relationships, and just kind of a more kind of happy, focusing on emotions, bit of sadness, but for the most part, joyous episode. So a lot of little moments to talk about here. Obviously, we start off with the basically completion of the seal. This is in fact the defeat of Kaguya. I love the animation where they kind of cut out and show the kind of effect of the jutsu, the six paths, planetary devastation. You see the kind of the god, the two hands coming together, and the kind of moon beginning to form around Kaguya. Naruto kind of disappears for a while, and then Sasuke says, he's went off to do something, and Naruto's tying up the loose end that Homura and Hagoromo didn't, and that was Black Zetsu. They didn't know about him. Naruto does, and he throws him into the planetary devastation as well. I thought it was a really great moment. The animation on the kind of spin throw was really, really good, and just launches him up there. And I suppose the big thing there was just the emotion from Naruto about how dismissive Zetsu was of like shinobi history. Like, I suppose technically it's this case that like Zetsu feels like he manipulated almost all of shinobi history and doesn't care for it, whereas Naruto is just like, no, that is important to us. The very reason we are the way we are now is because of that. And so him throwing away this kind of being that's responsible for so much bad stuff was very impactful. That like it was a kind of fitting kind of end for that character. Like, you want to be with your mother forever? Here you go. Stay with her forever. Animation on the planetary devastation coming together was really nicely done. Kaguya's kind of dimensional ball kind of crumbling apart, and the black parts start falling down as the kind of purpley kind of brown rock kind of went up. Really well animated for a scene that I don't think they needed to do a massive amount. It's just the kind of sealing away of the villain, but it was really nicely done, and especially as like Kaguya is beginning to like morph into like the kind of white blob, and all the tailed beasts come out, and then Madara's body comes out. That was really nicely done. And then obviously we get the kind of reveal of like, okay, we won, it's great. But wait, we're trapped in this dimension. How are we going to get back to our usual world? Like, what's going on? Like, we don't have Obito anymore. Like, Kakashi has the powers, but like I think it's implied that he's basically drained most of the energy away, and then very quickly afterwards, like, he does lose the eye powers. But they're like, oh, we're stuck here. There's no way we're gonna get all of us out here. Like, I suppose the implication there was that even if Kakashi could use his powers to use Kamui effectively, he wouldn't have enough energy to get them all out. But it is revealed that the background plot that they haven't really touched on all that much of what Hagoromo is doing with the Kages is that they were just doing this giant summoning jutsu to get everyone back. And that was kind of impressive. It leads to like this great moment. Has just Hagoromo basically summons everyone back in front of him. The tail beasts are all there. Our four heroes, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi are there. and all of the Kages, the four reanimated Hokages, and then the kind of spirits of a lot of the other Kage are there as well. And from here, we just get a lot of really nice moments here. Hagoromo praising Kakashi for kind of his role in the last fight, that without his kind of leadership qualities, bringing this team together, it wouldn't have been possible. And you see Kakashi feeling like he didn't do a lot because he felt like a lot of the power came from them and Obito, but Hagoromo definitely emphasizes that you kept them together. As their teacher, you still held out hope for Obito. You are just as important in this as well. And I really like that, to link it to last episode, which was very Kakashi focused, and just keep it that, like, he ultimately, I suppose, technically came up with the plan. Other people executed it, but Kakashi was kind of the mastermind behind the final attack that defeated Kaguya. So that was just a nice moment to have for Kakashi, leading then into the final goodbye scene for Obito. And this is one where, like, they'd already had kind of enough scenes where, like, it was basically final goodbyes, but this was just a final moment together, and I like that there wasn't a lot of dialogue there. It was just kind of focusing on the emotion of the scene. You have them as adults talking, and then you kind of finish off with basically Obito leaving, kind of, as the kind of more childlike kind of appearances that they had, and just the niceness of it, that Kakashi's just happy that he's able to finally say goodbye to Obito, with them no longer as enemies anymore, that they're back to being friends. And you just have the joke at the end about, you're back to being my friend who's always late to these, like, meetings and stuff like that. And he just says, like, I'm sure you have an excuse prepared for Reen as you cross over. And he's just like, well, I already told her that I was coming back for you. And it's just like, okay. And that's all they needed. And it was just a nice moment where they're friendly, but it's more like they were as kind of kids, where they were kind of tease each other about these kind of little aspects of their character. So I thought that was very nicely done, as obviously that's him losing the double Mangekyo Sharingan, and him saying, Kakashi of the Sharingan is no more at this point. After that, I think, is when we get the final Hashirama and Madara scene, which, again, I thought this was important to do. This is one of those ones where, like, we didn't really get a chance to do. And I think what really stood out to me watching this was referencing Bleach and the fact that that's recently ended. It was these type of scenes, the Hashirama Madara scene here, that were the type of scenes that Bleach didn't get to do in its ending because it was so rushed. They barely got to resolve the main plot. Whereas Naruto, at least it knew it was ending, and he wrapped up a little bit of everything. Not absolutely everything, but enough that it's kind of satisfying. And this was an important one to address. You've had scenes between Madara and Hashirama before, outside of just some flashback stuff, but this was a really important one to get. Madara is ultimately defeated. Hashirama is, the reanimation's going to be falling away soon. He's just basically had a Jinchuriki extraction take place, so he's dying. And it's just a final talk between the two about how they were kind of both wrong about stuff in the past, and Hashirama talks about how his goals overall were that he always knew that he was just putting stuff in place for future generations to kind of benefit from, and really pass his goals on to the next generation to make possible, obviously bringing kind of peace to the shinobi world. Whereas you definitely get the impression Madara tried to do everything on his own. It had to be during his lifetime. He had to be a part of it. He couldn't just leave it for the next generation to do. And they kind of both in the end realized they were maybe rushing things a little bit too much, but it's mainly Madara realizing the kind of errors of his ways, and kind of realizing that he did make some mistakes in his life, putting all these plans into place. Again, nothing kind of crazy, like, emotional or impactful, but an important scene between two very important characters. And especially with what, like, Hagoromo says, Naruto, Sasuke, watch your predecessors. Watch how they kind of say goodbye to each other here. It was the one moment of kind of setup between that, like, there's still something more to come between Naruto and Sasuke, that they're going to have a talk after all of this stuff calms down, and what will be the result of that, which is obviously the how the series is going to come to an end with the next couple of episodes, but that's still to come, of course. And then basically the last big scene of the episode, uh, Hagoromo, Sage of Six Paths, is going to release the reanimation jutsu and let all of the Hokages go away, all of the Kage go away. And so Naruto realizes that this is going to be the last ever time he really gets to in any way communicate with his father. And so you get this incredibly emotional scene, great continuity as just kind of Minato brings up Kushina for the first time, Naruto's mother, and kind of mentions, I'm going to tell her everything that happened. She won't kind of be out of the loop. I'll tell her everything that's happened since I've been reanimated. And Naruto just kind of goes on this amazing kind of monologue that is just, it highlights the kind of Kushina aspect of him. Like when she talks about stuff, she just kind of, it just kind of comes out of her mouth and she just doesn't stop speaking. We saw that in the kind of scenes where like Naruto first met his mother, and we see it again here as he references almost everything she said, where like during her final bits of moments getting to see Naruto before the energy kind of went away, she talked about how, you know, make sure you wash every day, make sure you eat a lot of different things, stay healthy and all this stuff. And she kind of, you know, in a way kind of wasted Minato's last bit of time with Naruto at that point, and he just says all of this stuff to her about how like, I eat a lot, but it's mainly ramen. I kind of wash every day. I'm not great in school, but I try. I have a lot of friends and all of this stuff. It was just a really amazing reference scene that he kind of brought that bit back. And again, it kind of is this other reference bit to Minato when he kind of talks in these cases is always kind of out-talked by Kushina and Naruto. During these big emotional goodbye scenes, he's often just listening to what they have to say, and I really like that he's kind of okay with that because he cares so much for his family, and he's just going to pass that on to Kushina. It was just really emotional. The animation was well done, as kind of obviously the reanimated body of Minato kind of crumbles away, but his kind of spirit then begins to move off as Naruto is becoming more and more emotional. You kind of cut to see Kurama beginning to be a little bit affected by what's happening here. I kind of would have liked to see like how like more a little bit more reaction from the likes of Sakura and Kakashi. Like this is Sakura, I suppose, really first time seeing Naruto's father. How a little bit more maybe as a final moment between Kakashi and Minato, but I get they wouldn't want to interrupt it like that, but just a little expression from Kakashi to get that final moment between him and his teacher. But yeah, just great moment as kind of everyone watches Naruto just stream this, you know, emotion out at his father during this final scene, and everyone just is looking really happy because they know that he kind of represents so much good about what's going on in the world right now. He ultimately is the person who's brought a lot of this into place and has allowed it to happen, and just incredibly emotional scene. It didn't quite like bring me to tears or anything like that, but it's one of those scenes where you could feel your kind of eyes welling up, and it is really, really emotional. But yeah, I think that's basically all of the scenes. There was a lot of little kind of character moments in this episode that were really well done, like a little bit of Naruto and Kurama kind of moments. As I just like the little joke with Hagoromo where he knows the tail beasts really well, and he's just like he's kind of happy to see Kurama like he was in the past, where like he gets all flustered when like someone's overly emotional with him, because he as like the strongest tail beast kind of tries to act cool, but he gets, you know, flustered when like Naruto is acting kind of overly emotional and stuff like that. And I like the little interactions between Son Goku and Kurama where like they're just joking about Naruto. Your Jinchuriki's pretty good, but yeah, he's a bit of an idiot as well, and Kurama takes a bit of offense to that. But yeah, just really, really great episode. Final thing I want to mention is the opening. We keep the same music, but we actually get a completely different animation for the opening here. It's clearly the final one, focused completely on Naruto and Sasuke, the various points of their life, very much hinting at the final battle. I thought it was really well done. This is the sort of thing we need for this final arc. So, don't want to go into too much depth in terms of analyzing the opening. I just want to definitely praise the animators for putting together a very very like impactful and impressive opening that fits what's going to come. But yeah, the preview for next episode looks really good. I thought the animation looks even more exceptional. So very clearly they know what the big moments of the series are, and it feels like they're going to hit it out of the park with this final fight. And so I'm really excited to see how they do this bit of the series that they kind of have to nail. Like, this is ultimately what the show has been about for most of Shippuden. Since the show has been Shippuden, it's been about building to Naruto Sasuke. Their kind of differences in ideologies as they go on, but primarily Naruto just trying to bring Sasuke back over to the Leaf Village side of things and be friends with him again. And Sasuke just having his like ideals, his revenge and stuff like that getting in the way. And what's the last kind of hiccup in this, I suppose, is what we're going to get. But yeah, that's been the episode review. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the episode, your thoughts on my review. And I'll just finish by saying, if you want to follow me on social media, links to my Twitter and Tumblr are in the description below. Then if you want to help support my channel, links to my Patreon page and also my PayPal donation link are also in the description below. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.